Right, here we go then with another one. A little bit different, this one. This is the Shropshire Three Peaks. So we're doing 3 peaks today. And this is the first one, Brown Clee Hill, the highest point in Shropshire, 1,772 feet. Let's do it. So this is the first peak of the day, Brown Clee Hill, and the highest point is known as Abden Berth and Clee Berth as well. They are 2 high points, and believe it or not, from the research I've done, there's no higher points to the east until you hit the Lura Mountains in Russia, apparently. So yeah, it's not quite a mountain either, 1,772 feet. But let's get up there. Remember last time I done this, coming up to 3 years ago, all that was like flowing water. It's been so dry lately, everything's dried up. Not too far from the summit then there, and there was a lot of air crashes, to be honest, on this peak during World War II. A lot of documented air traffic incidents, and it's also home to a lot of old Iron Age hill forts as well. Oh, so there's the summit, just there. Let's get up there then. A time check. Just over 2 miles, 700 feet of elevation going. Wind's definitely picked up. So I may attempt the drone, not sure. Let's get to the summit and I'll decide there. There you go, that's the summit of Brown Clee Hill. Nice. Where we're going next over there, Titterstone Clee. Yeah, managed to get a touch of drone footage, but drone was all over the shop. It's really windy, not as bad as Carned Llewellyn the other week, but about 20 miles per hour, and that's what the drone can take. So just about hung in there, got a bit of footage. So let's get descending then, and when we get to the bottom we'll head to Titterstone Clee. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, lovely and clear. Just the winds are a bit strong, which is a bit disappointing for the drone, but you can't have it all. No rain, so that's a bonus. And this is actually the highest coal mine in the whole of Britain. This was on Brown Clee Hill. Remember last time I done this Brown Clee Hill, I had lunch in there, and Gibbo was on this hike with me. So I can't miss the old geology facts of the day for Brown Clee Hill. Goes on a bit, this one actually. It's sedimentary rocks from the Devonian period, and it's capped with igneous rocks from volcanoes, and there's also sandstone and dolerite. So quite a bit going on geology wise on this peak. Ah, you can't beat this, can you, hiking? What a great day, look at these views coming up here. Absolutely superb. Let's have a look up here. Absolutely stunning. And that one right in the middle there is our old friend the Wrekin. Right, time check. 3 mile, 800 feet elevation gain, and it's 9:30 AM. How brilliant is that? Sunday morning, 9:30 AM. Yeah, so the masts you're seeing at the top, ATC, that is, air traffic control. So that's my favourite flower, the old foxglove. And you'll see why they spread so much. I'll just show you here, look. If you pop open these pods, there's all the seeds, look. They obviously dry out. In each pod you get hundreds of seeds. Great flowers, foxgloves. Just past some guys on bikes. Fair play coming up here on a bike. Really is steep this. Can't imagine coming up here on a bike. Crazy. Fair play. Yeah, I'd recommend Brown Clee Hill and this all trails route as an intro to hiking if you wanted to get into it. Really nice nice little route, bit of steepness at the start, cracking views, and yeah, I'd recommend it, to be honest, if you want to get into it. About 1,000 feet of elevation gain, it's about 4.5 miles, so yeah, check it out though. Few logs there, isn't there? So we just got a few hundred metres back to the car now, and it's about 4.5 miles this route. Right then, that's the first peak done, Brown Clee Hill. So now I'm going to head off to Titterstone Clee, which is about a 30-minute drive. So I'll see you back in a bit at Titterstone Clee. Right, so here we are at Titterstone Clee. It's really windy, that's for sure. I don't think there'll be any drone. So let's do it then. Titterstone Clee, peak 2 of 3. Certainly a bit different to last time I done it with the sky. It was really grey and wet, but the wind seems as bad or worse. So that's where we're heading in the distance. Obviously we could just head straight up from the car park. Yeah, 5 minutes. But you want to make the most of it a bit and get a few miles in. Cheating really if you do that, but each to their own I guess. This is around 5 miles, this one, this circular. So this is the third highest point on the Shropshire Three Peaks. This is Titterstone Clee, 1749 feet. So there's our final destination there through the trees, Titterstone Clee. If we look directly in front of us, that's where we come from, Brown Clee Hill. So there it is again, Titterstone Clee, an old Iron Age hill fort, and it's also actually a marling, got a prominence of 492 feet. As I say, it's a 5 mile circular this one, so some cracking views in the distance there. Yeah, so you get a lot of wildlife around here, peregrine falcons, red kites, there's even adders, quite a few adders are seen in the summer. Luckily I haven't come across any yet. God bless you, Mum. God bless you, Dad. Yeah, I remember doing this route Good Friday about 2.5 years ago, and it's all the ascent is at the end. It's quite an ascent at the end, so got to hang in there for that. Yeah, I remember doing this, as I say, on that Good Friday 2024 I believe. And this was just caked with mud, all this, literally like a flowing river, all these tracks were. I don't think it's rained for a few weeks. which is strange for the UK, very strange. Oh, let's get this final push on then. Push on up to the summit. Reminds me of Corndon Hill, this one. A little steep grassy one. Told you it was a steep one. So it's going to be far too windy at the top, to be honest. It's probably too windy now. I'm going to attempt to try and get a touch of drone footage. It'll be impossible from the top. So let's try William. That's alright, had a 2-for-1 special there then. Got a bit of drone footage and rested my legs for 5 minutes. So let's push on this ascent then. Let's do a time check. Coming up to 4 mile. And we're on 650 feet of elevation gain. So we've done 500 feet so far of elevation on this last bit. Still here. Still at it, this final ascent. That's tough. So the old geology facts of the day then, we can't miss that. Dolerite, sandstone, igneous rocks, pretty much like Brown Clee Hill, and there's sedimentary rock as well, and it's also limestone. There's a bit of everything on Titterstone Clee, and it runs along the Titterstone Clee fault line. There you go, so that's known locally as the golf ball, and it's pretty much for aviation, part of the Civil Aviation Authority. It's also used for measuring weather in the Met Office, the golf ball. So there's Brown Clee Hill. Right then, summit's going on. Let's do it. There you go, that's the summit of Titterstone Clee. That's peak 2 of 3. There's the old golf ball again. Crazy wind up here. bit of a wind trap, Titterstone Clee. I'm hoping to talk to any hiking community. Real wind trap up here a lot of the time. So that last bit was really tough, 800 feet of elevation gain. That's it then guys, I'm wrapped up with Titterstone Clee. I'm going to do my hour's drive to Stiperstones for peak 3 of 3, so I'll see you in a bit. Right, here we go with our final peak of the day then. This is Stiperstones, 1,759 feet. Let's do it, peak 3 of 3. Rocky path, this one. I remember this nearly 3 years ago in the rain, so it's nice to come here when it's clear. Oh, so that's the official summit up there, so I've got a bit of a scramble. There you go, that's the summit of Stiperstones. Peak 3 of 3. Yeah, so it's really windy, but I'm going to attempt the drone, even if I get a couple of minutes. Let's see how it goes. Right, I've learnt my lesson the hard way. Look, all up there where I done my drone, I lost my drone because of the wind. I've had to just retrieve it, refine my drone. So I've learnt my lesson now, I'm not going to be doing it again in this kind of wind. So basically, I really did drop a bollock there on this one. So I've got to scramble all up this screw now. So I need to be careful here. So I've had to scramble all over that to retrieve my drone. But thank God I got it. Definitely learned my lesson this time. Don't risk it again. Anything over 15 miles an hour, I'm not risking it. I was lucky there. Right, we'll be back on track after drone gate. Should have learnt my lesson there from Giddy Edge and a few other hikes I've done where I've used it in the wind, nearly lost it, but I've definitely learnt my lesson there. So anyway, let's push on along this circular Stiperstones, and you have to be careful along here with your footing. Really a lot of screw sticking up on this path. So that's the Devil's Chair. Really well known rock formation at Stiperstones, that is. You can really see that in the distance when you're looking at this peak. The Devil's Chair. Real rugged wilderness this one is, and you can tell that on the approach. The last couple of miles, just like really is the middle of nowhere. Seen a few people, but definitely quite isolated Stiperstones. So it's also an SSSI Stiperstones. You get a lot of red grouse and peregrine falcons around this area. A bit tired now, to be honest. Took it out to me retrieving my drone, but even without that, it's a long day. I'm 50 years old, and it's about 13 miles and 2,500 feet of elevation gain all in, which is quite a lot. So all the jumbled scree that you're seeing on Stiperstones, that was caused in the last ice age, that was, from the intense thawing and freezing and thawing, freezing, kept like going sort of on and off, causing all that jumbled scree that I scrambled over and up to the top of the trig point. They're known as tors. Them rock formations are, like the Devil's Chair and Napstone Rock and stuff. Alright, so time check, coming up to 3¼ mile, and it's 20 to 4. I started at 8 AM, so this Shropshire Three Peaks is an 8-hour thing. You have to do it over 8 hours. I mean, that's nothing official, that's like what I kind of made up myself as a good target for people, and that includes the drive in between and the 3 highest peaks. So yeah, it's a good one. 8 AM, I should be wrapped up just before 4, so it can be done. So I mean, as I said, I took a half hour out for the drone gate incident, and I've took a lot of footage, my drone and camera and everything, so it can definitely be done in the 8 hours. So I think the only thing left to say then is the old geology facts of the day. It's quartzite rock, and that's a kind of Ordovician rock from volcanoes, and it was formed around 480 million years ago. Incredible. Alright, so the time is 9 minutes to 4. So I've really got to start moving now to finish in the 8 hours. So hopefully I can get to the end before 4 o'clock. Right, that's it then. Back to the start. Oh, let's have a look. 5 to 4. All done then. That's it then, guys. That's me wrapped up with another one. That was the Shropshire Three Peaks challenge. So peace. See you on the next one. Bye. So peak 2 of 3 is going to be Titterstone Clee. Blimey, I'm a poet and I don't know it.